Thanks for clicking on the video. And I'm going to get all this stuff packed into this backpack. This is for my trip into the Pinchot State Forest. There'll be a link to that in the description. You'll see one of the icons pop up here, and then there'll be a link at the end of the video if you want to watch the trip itself. So I've had this broken down into a few different categories. So if you're just thinking about getting into backpacking, or you're fairly new to it and you're not sure how to pack your stuff or what you really need, I'm by no means an expert at this. This is just what I use, and so you can use this as a guide. You can ignore it. You can do exactly what I do. Do whatever you want. This may help you out though. So I break everything down into categories. So up here I've got my my shelter system. All right, I've got my hammock. I've got my tarp. I've got my suspension for the hammock. This has just got the tree straps. It's got some cordage and stuff like that. I've got stakes, so I can, tie out my my tarp lines. And then I've got my winter. This is my winter quilt system, my winter insulation, and my summer insulation. Now, if you got the right insulation, you probably only need one set, but this is homemade stuff for me. My summer set, I really like. It works very well. It can get me down into the 40s, high 30s for extended periods of times, but 20s, a little bit much to ask of that. My winter set is based. My winter set uses a 10-degree insulation, but it was the first set of quilts I ever made, and they're not the best. So they're not as warm as they should be. They're probably more like 20 to 30-degree quilts. So the two together, I just layer them, and I'm fine down into the teens, maybe into the single digits. I never got them that low. So I take both sets. I can make that better if I wanted to, but for the time being, it works fine. I also include my trekking poles in with my shelter. More often than not, I'm not using these for hiking. I'm using these to pitch my tarp out, lift up one side to give it like a porch mode, and give myself more room underneath. So you can, if you watch the video, you'll see if I set the tarp up, if I need it, you'll see how I use those. Next up, I've got my food and my water. So I'm gonna pack all my water in. I'm not gonna try to filter water because it's gonna be below freezing. I don't want to freeze my filter. If you have a Sawyer filter, it's not good to let those freeze. So I know I'm not going that far. I'm gonna take in 4 liters of water. There's always snow that I can melt if I need to, and just in case, I am taking, it's called Purinize. It's just water drops. So need be, and I need more water, there are creeks and streams out there. I can break through the ice, get some of that water, boil it, and use this stuff in it too, just to make sure that it's safe to drink. So I've got my 4 liters of water, 2 liters for my hydro pack, a liter in my platypus, and a liter in my Nalgene. I'm taking my solo stove light. I'm not taking my canister fuel stove. I'm going to only be relying on this. So for that, I've also got, I'm going to take this. This is the first time I'm using something like this. It's just a fire kit. So in the event that all the wood I find is wet, I can't get a fire started, in here I've just got some birch bark, and I've got some small pieces of wood that will burn well in my solo stove, so I can at least get one good hot meal. And if that's the case, then I can always bail, and I know that I ate. For food, I don't usually take a hard case like this, but I have 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in here. I've got my oatmeal for the morning, so I got 2 lunches, and then I've also got my coffee, a drink mix it's like lemonade for dinner, and then some pepperoni slices in there, and they all fit in here. That way my sandwiches don't get smashed. Since I'm going for an overnight, my food ration is going to be 1 dinner, 2 lunches, and a breakfast, plus a bunch of snacks. So in here, I've got my Reflectix pouch that I cook in. That's got a dehydrated chili meal in there that I made for my last backpacking trip. And then I've also got a couple Cliff Bars, some Skittles from an old MRE, and then also from an old MRE is some cornbread. I figured I'm having chili, might as well have some cornbread. So that is all my food. I've also got this little collapsible cup. This is kind of a luxury item. I'll put it in my luxury item stuff. It's just when I'm in camp, I don't always like to drink out of my Nalgene or my platypus. That way I can just keep a little bit of water near where I'm sitting or in the hammock. Next up, I've got my fire kit. You know, stuff to make fire. Oh, actually, and then plus, this is also for food related, I guess. This is my bear bag setup. So this pouch doubles as what I throw over the branch to hang my bear bag. I've got my paracord, my carabiner. There's probably, I think in the last video I said there's 25 feet. That's not right. There's probably 50 feet in here. But then I also use this pouch as a weight to throw over, like I said. And all my little stuff I pack in here as well. So dual purpose whenever possible. I've got some waterproof matches, just in case. I've got my fire steel with a striker that I don't usually use. I usually use my knife for that, but I have that. I try to rely on that. I'm trying to get better at it. I've got my V3 pocket bellows to help stoke the fire. I've got some Purell. This is double purpose. You can use it to clean your hands. You can also use this as a fire starter. It's very flammable. But mostly I'm going to be using, I'll be looking for birch bark on my way through the forest. I've also got a little fat wood here and a little bit of dryer lint, super flammable. And there's just a random kind of like bungee cord in there. But the fat wood and the dryer lint, if I can find some additional birch bark out there, I'll be fine. And that's it for fire. Back here I've got my luxury items. A pair of socks for sleeping. These are big and fluffy, keep my feet warm. I've got my neck gaiter. Not so much for hiking because I don't think I'll need it. But at night I'll put this on. I'll be able to sleep with my face up above the quilts. And also this helps block any condensation coming out of my mouth while I'm breathing. And it keeps all the condensation out of my quilts. I've got the little cup, just a collapsible cup. I've got my camp pillow. This actually helps with insulation a little bit when I'm sleeping, but just something I like to carry with me. And then my little foldable camp chair, so I've got somewhere to sit. That's all of my luxury items. My kind of necessity tool, I don't know what you call this stuff here, but I got my micro spikes in case the trail is icy. I've got this strap that I use to hang my bag off the tree. It's just a adjustable strap I can put around a tree, adjust the tension, and I can hang my bag. The carabiner I'm using for this now isn't just a regular carabiner. It's dual purpose or multifunction, I guess. It's a carabiner. It's got a little screwdriver. It's got a bottle opener. It's got whatever these holes here are for, and then it's also got a flint. So I like to have multiple ways of starting a fire. With that flint, I can easily light dryer lint. So I've got that. I've got my first aid kit. This has got your essential stuff in there. There's like a bandage, there's some band-aids. It's probably more than I need, but I'd rather have more first aid than not enough. I've got, well, of course you should always go with a map, so that's my map of the Pinchot Trail system. I've got my knife. This is just a folding knife, relatively sharp, nice and light. It's small, and it works my fire steel. I've got my water purifier, or purification drops. I've got lights. I got my headlamp, and I've got my little locator light that I use. Where's the switch here? Oh, it's on this side. I put this on my hammock at night. That way, if I got to walk away from the hammock, I can always find it. And then I've got my axe. This is the Gerber Gator combo. I showed this in the last pack video. It's got a decent blade on it. It's also got a saw in the handle. And it's the way the handle is made, you can actually use this as a little bit of a hammer and not to worry about really damaging it. So that's it for that kind of essential stuff. And then the things that most people aren't going to bring is camera gear. A lot of people will bring a charge pack so they can charge their phone. So I'll have my phone with me. I have this. This is an Anchor PowerCore 20,100. I've got my GoPro Hero 5 Black on the Karma gimbal with the 3-way grip. I've got two Hero Session 5s, basically as a backup because these don't last real long. But if I want to get some cool shots of waters, streams, things like that, and they're light enough. I don't care. They don't add that much weight. I'm fine with them. I've got my sound recorder and my microphone, which I use for sound recording, obviously. And then there's this little tripod that I can use for either my sound recorder, or I can put one of the GoPros on it. There's also a small tripod in the 3-way too. So that's all my gear. Now I've got to get it in my pack. And the pack I'm using is my Teton Sports Fox 5200. There's the name down here. Fox 5200. It's a 75-liter bag with a 10-liter expansion on the lid. This thing is way more than enough for any backpacking I do. So it's not the lightest thing, but it holds everything I need. If I didn't need the second set of quilts, I could get rid of some of this other stuff that I don't really need, like the chair and the pillow and maybe a couple cameras, and do with a smaller pack. But none of this stuff is extremely heavy, so I'm okay with it. The water is the heaviest part. So, all right, let me show you how I get this packed. Okay, so let me clear a little bit of room here. The first thing I pack are my winter quilts, because these are the biggest thing. And I'm using the Sea2summit. This is a extra large Sea2summit compression sack. I could probably make one of these, but I couldn't make it better than this. So this is what I use. This thing, I can just compress the crap out of. And I'm going to try to get this as tight as I can. There are two quilts. There's a top quilt and an under quilt in both of these sacks. There's two quilts in here, two quilts in there. So compressing these is ideal, but I like to wait until I'm packing the bag. When I keep them stored, I store them uncompressed, just packed. It's not good for your insulation. Leave it compressed all the time. Okay, so that's about as compressed as that's going to get. And then in my pack, this has a lower compartment that's designed for sleeping bags or a sleeping pad if you got a small tent. For my smaller bag, this is where I would generally keep my hammock and all that stuff. And I put the quilt in the top. But in this pack, I gotta put this big boy in here. But it fits. It's tight, but it fits. I can actually fit my 0-degree sleeping bag in this little compartment. Alright, so that's in there. Next thing I'm going to put in are my other set of quilts. These compress a lot more. Alright, so this is a medium Sea2summit bag. And that's all I need for those two quilts. So now I'll pop those right in the top. And when I'm loading this, I make sure all my straps are either unbuckled or loosened completely up. So next to that, I'm going to fill in some of the holes. I'll put my hammock in there. I'll put my tarp. My hammock is, this is 10 feet by 56 inches. It's made from 1.7 ounce nylon. It goes band out of. This is my 12 by 9.5 sill nylon tarp. Both of these are homemade. So I put that in there. My whoopee sling straps, put those in there. I will put my I'll put my tent stakes in there. I will put, let's see, I'll put my pillow in there. Next, so that's pretty well packed in there. The micro spikes I'm going to keep up top just in case I need them when I get to this forest tomorrow. I'll keep my first aid kit up front. Let's see. I guess I can put my cup in here. And now I'm just trying to fill up all the space that I have. I can put my socks in there. Those will fill up some space. So it doesn't have to be neat. It just needs to be, just needs to fit. Okay, so now that I've got all that, I'm going to take my little bear bag system here. I'm going to put my headlamp, my little light, my water purification, my matches, my fire starter, my striker, my bellows, my Purell, my little fire kit. All that will go in there. Next I'll put yep, I'll put all that in there. So all that stuff goes in one bag. It's all right in there. I can kind of compress that down a little bit more. I'll toss that in here. However it fits right there. I will throw in my solo stove, put that in there. I will put my little food container and my food bag right on top. All right. And then I will also put, that's it. That's it for inside. All right. So now I can compress that. Nice thing about this Teton bag is it's got a double barrel design. It's got like kind of inner pouch, which only goes down a couple inches, but then it's got this upper one to help compress it a little bit more. Alright, so I got all that. In this inner pouch, I'm going to put my battery pack. I'm going to put my first aid kit. And that's it. I'm going to, let's see what's next. All right. Oh, you know I didn't put in? I knew I was forgetting something. I got ahead of myself. I didn't put in my water bladder. That's going to change things a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to feed the hose in first. I'm going to lock my valve. I'm going to feed the hose in right in there. And then I'm going to slide this down. I'm going to leave that a little less compressed than it was before, just because with that water bladder in there, I don't want to squeeze it too hard, but that's fine because this does a really good job of not squishing things. Next, on the front of the pouch here, I'm going to take my platypus, I'm going to put it inside of this. Take this strap, come over to the front, and cinch that down a little bit. And this is going to keep the platypus from falling out and going all over the place. Got that. I'm going to take my axe and actually just loosen this for a second. I'll feed this through. Actually, let me put it through here first. So I got my axe. Stand this back up. And now I can close the top lid. Okay. All right, sorry about that. The camera died right in the middle of recording. So this is all buttoned up. Now up top, I'm going to put my tree strap. I'm going to put my neck gaiter. I'm going to put my, well, the cameras, the GoPro, the voice recorder, and the microphone will be on me while I'm hiking. So those can stay to the side. The two sessions, however, can go inside here. And I think that leaves me room for my micro spikes as well. So those can go in there. All right. On one side pouch, I'm going to put my trekking poles. Put those in here. Oh, that one came unvelcroed. And then there's another strap here that can go across those. Hold those in and tight. bottom. On the other side, I will put my Nalgene with the strap through that loop, just in case it pops off. That's not going in. I also got this little pack towel, forgot to mention that. On my left belt loop here, I will put my knife. And on the bottom, I will put my camp chair. And what I like to do with this, on up with that, is with the excess here, once I've tightened it down as tight as I can get it, is run it through these little handles on the side. Just a little bit of a knot, just in case it slides out. When I'm hiking, I don't lose it. Now, there's also a front set of straps here, and what I'll use that for generally is if I get too warm when I'm hiking, I'll fold up my jacket and I'll tuck it up here. And then my map I'll carry with me. That'll be in my pocket. So that's it. That's this entire thing set up. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap out. I usually carry a spare carabiner with me. This is just like a keychain style carabiner. I'm going to put in a regular hammock carabiner. This is climbing rated. It's actually, good catch, it's actually lighter than that carabiner. If I just put that right on there and usually clip it onto one of the zippers on the back here, just so it's not banging around too much. What do you think? Should I weigh it? Bet it weighs quite a bit. Alright, hold on, maybe get my little... So according to my little electronic scale here, this weighs 40 pounds. 40.1 pounds. That's with all the water, that's with everything in there. So that's 4 liters of water, that's like 9 pounds of water, so about 31 pounds without the water. It's heavy, but once you got it on your back, you don't really notice it. I'm not going great distance here. So, alright, well that's what I'm taking and how I got it in my pack here. So I hope this helped you if you're getting into backpacking. Give you some pointers, some tips, things you should take, things you shouldn't, reasons why. It's very, it's a very personalized thing, packing your bag. So what I take, you may not want to take, or you may think I'm missing things that you want to take. I don't need to take the axe. I could break wood with my hands, but I like to have it. I just have fun playing with an axe. So maybe I'm weird, I don't know, but I like having the axe with me. I don't need to take the camp chair. I could take a piece of Reflectex and make a little, a sit pad and sit on the ground. I could do that. Don't need to take the pillow. There's a lot of things. I don't have to take the water. I could rely just on the drops, or I could take a filter with me and just make sure I keep it with me and make sure it doesn't freeze. Not concerned about that extra few pounds of weight. Not for a short trip. If I was going longer, maybe I'd cut back on some of that stuff. But I'm going out to have fun, so I don't mind the extra couple pounds. For me to have fun, I like to have a couple luxuries. So, it is what it is. Alright, that's it for this video. Thanks for checking it out. If you liked it, click the like button, hit subscribe, hit the little bell next to it. Check me out on my live stream on Thursdays. If you've got questions about backpacks, about gear, come on in, join the live chat stream, live chat, I think they call it. Join that, ask questions. That's why I'm there. I'm there to answer questions and help people out. And it doesn't have to be about backpacking. It could be about the camera gear. It could be about anything. So, cool. All right. Thanks for watching. I'm going to go get some rest now and get ready to go. See you in the next one.